Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, it's a pleasure for us to be here. It's a pleasure to meet you. It's a pleasure to drive to the facility. I mean, you can almost sense the atmosphere whilst you're driving up the road. There's almost this sort of, I don't know, this sort of nice bright cloud over this facility. And you can see it miles away, and it's great. And that atmosphere, you know, that you've created and has been created by the previous speakers, the excitement in the room, the award winners, and we congratulate every one of them, those that aren't here and those that are here today. And that gives a lot of us a lot of hope. And we realise some of you are here for the first time, and hopefully now have settled in and you know what it's about a little bit more anyway, and maybe you're feeling a little bit more comfortable. I don't know. We can always remember when we went to a function first, our first feelings, the first hour, the first 2 hours. They were longer functions in those days. But there's a lot of excitement now, and that excitement's caused by belief that the business will work. And we've recently, we today have driven up from London actually, because we've spent the weekend with Jerry and Mandy in London, and some of the other leaders in the UK, all part of the same business, the Amway business. We've spent the weekend with the management of Amway. We've met the new general manager. Discussed a lot of things, a lot of long-term things, short-term things, goals and so forth. And we're excited because we can't tell you everything right now, but there's a lot of good things happening. The exciting thing is the business is moving on. And the exciting thing, apart from what you feel today, is we can tell you now with every confidence and full knowledge that this business is going to move in greater circles year in, year out. It's the talk of the world. There's great things planned for this business in this country over the next 12 months, over the next 5 years. And that's great because it shows that you've got that secure background to your business. You've got a corporation that's been now running 35 years, very, very secure in many countries throughout the world. And that's good, secure knowledge, a good, secure atmosphere in which to grow your business. And when you think that you're backed by a corporation like that, that plans are afoot and, they take the trouble to sit down and plan for the future on product, on opening new marketplaces, new product and service lines and bonuses, and making sure the rewards are there and paid to the people that do the work, as the bonus system has always done, then that's some nice secure feelings. But you should feel proud as well, because you're part of an organisation that's moving on. You're part of an organisation that's the talk of networking in the UK, but also around the world. And that isn't any credit to any one particular person. That is credit to a whole team of leaders that are helping you and backing you throughout the country. And you should be proud of that and hold your heads high, because that's going to help you, in years to come, because this business is definitely moving on. That organisation is now developing leaders and people that are achieving the lifestyles, achieving the incomes that we all talk about when we're out there in the living rooms. But it's happening, Years ago it was a hope, now it's a fact. It's a fact of life. But it's lifestyles and incomes that most people outside this business and outside this organisation can only dream of, can only faintly hope will ever come their way. It's a dream for them that hasn't got any tangibility, it isn't real, it's not going to happen. But within this organisation, within this business, it will happen. So there's no doubt that the business works. Many years ago there was that doubt, but now there isn't any doubt at all. The proof's already there that the business is working. But what about you? What about you? Not you as an audience, you as an individual, because it's you as an individual we want to talk with today. We don't want to talk to you or at you, we want to talk with you. And before we start, let me just try and set the scene. If you sat here with half a dozen people, if you sat here with 24 people, or if you just sat here on your own, just clean everything from your mind and see yourself now sat here as you as an individual. Not you with a group of people, but you as an individual, no matter what your pin level is. So really, you're back to the new people, you're back to the same level that the new people who are in this room today. And we want all of you to be honest and think of yourself now purely as yourself, not sat there thinking, well, I hope my group hears this. Because who we are addressing is you as an individual. And you as an individual may be thinking to yourself, well, it's all very well Pat Gregory and Greta Gregory saying this and that and how wonderful the business is. But why isn't it working for me? When is it going to work for me? Will it ever work for me? And those are questions we all have going through our minds. I remember I did certainly when I was listening to people talking about how the business was going to be. You know, it sounded good, and I'm sure it was going to be good, but would it ever work for me? And our message is to you today as an individual. And we're going to give that message very simply that it will work. But we're going to give you that message not just as a message, we're going to give it you with sincerity. We're going to give it you with honesty. We're going to tell you how things are, and we want you to be as honest with yourself as we hopefully are going to be honest with you. But we're also giving you the message of hope with knowledge, our own experiences. And we've been around the business a long time. We'll give you that information, and we're going to give you that message that the business will work for any one of you that want to make it work. It will work for you. 100% of the people that want this business to work and are prepared to do some things about it, it will work for them. This business isn't a vague hope. It will work for no matter what background you come from, what education you come from, what colour you are. It will work for you. We know that. With the proof's already there with the many success stories just in the UK alone. But it takes commitment. It takes commitment to work. And there's a couple of things that you've got to really do. I think there's two basic principles you've got to accept, first of all, before you can see the reality of this business working for you. There's two commitments, I think, and the first commitment, which a lot of people maybe don't think about, but the first commitment that you have to make in order to make this business work for you is to unselfishly, relentlessly, and unashamedly work to help other people succeed. That's the first basic principle. There's no way you're going to succeed in this business unless you're prepared to put the action behind other people succeeding. So take your eyes off yourself initially, because the only way you'll make this thing work for you is to help other people and make it work for them. That's the first golden rule. And when people see the plan, first of all, they very often miss that point. And we very often miss that point when we're talking with them. That's the first decision you have to take on the road to success with this business. But there's a second decision, and that second decision is of equal importance. But it's a decision on a personal basis. Remember, we're talking to you as an individual now. We're not talking to you and your wife. We're not talking to you and your group. We're talking to you as an individual. And that second decision on the personal basis has got to be made with the voice inside you. The voice inside you. You know that voice? The voice that's inside you when you're alone. When you're driving along at night. It's the voice inside you that you talk to more than you talk to anyone else. It's you. And we all talk to ourselves. Maybe not out loud, but we do, if you think about it. It's the voice inside you that knows you better than anyone else, because that voice inside you can't be kidded. He can't be fooled, or she can't be fooled. Maybe you can fool your upline, maybe you can fool your wife, maybe you can fool your boss at work, but you can't fool that voice inside you. And what we're asking you to do now is to make that commitment with that voice inside you. The person that you can't fool, the person that knows everything about you. And the commitment we're asking you to make with that person inside you is very simple: to achieve your dream. You make that commitment with that person, not with anyone else. Don't try and kid anyone else, just with that person inside you. And I can hear some of you saying, but I haven't got a dream. I don't know what my dream is. And I want to try and help you on that. And I'll help you with all sincerity. And the very word I'll say to you to help you with that is rubbish. You have got a dream. You have got a dream. You just don't realize it yet. You saw something in that plan to either get you here or to get you onto the next step. You heard something. I don't know what it was. You probably don't know what it was now, but something stirred inside you. You felt something. It may have only been a little seed. It may have only been a phrase. It may only be what you might call now fantasy or escapism, but you saw something. You experienced something that caused you temporary excitement. I don't care who you are, something was there. But you experienced something. And then over the passage of time, with niggling doubts and feelings of uncertainty, you subdued that feeling. And our message to you today is to be honest with yourself and rekindle that experience. Start searching your mind and realize, and at least accept honestly, if you're talking to the voice inside you, that there was something there. You see, we know it works. We know other people are succeeding. You saw something there for yourself. And we're here to tell you your dream not only can be achieved with the help of this business, but will be achieved. It will be achieved, there's no doubt about that, if you understand one basic principle. That dream, that thing you saw, is going to be chased. It's got to be chased ruthlessly. No excuses. It's got to be chased with determination. It's your dream. It's personal to you. God gave you that dream. Somebody gave you that dream. It was there. It's personal to you. And you've got to chase that dream with unshakable belief and relentless effort, with no excuses for failure. Can you commit to do that to yourself? No excuses. You can't excuse the voice inside yourself. It's a personal commitment to you. That's what we're talking about. A personal commitment to the voice inside you. A commitment to accept challenges. A commitment to accept that outside forces will probably try and steal that dream from you. Will probably try and influence you. But it's got to be a deep commitment. It shall be done. You see, I suppose in a way it's about putting ourselves under pressure. It's about putting ourselves under pressure with maybe some time limits. Why are why is that second commitment so important? Well, the second commitment to yourself is important because in order to help the people that you're going to help in the first commitment, and that is the people to achieve their dreams, they need to have inspiration. They need to have confidence. They need to have motivation from you to achieve their goals. And they will get that when they see you doing whatever it takes to overcome all the adversity, to shrug off the challenges, to shrug off the negatives. They're not going to be very inspired if you give in to negatives and give in to challenges. They're going to be inspired if they see you ruthlessly chasing your dream, your goals. And that will give them hope. That will give them uplifting experiences. That will give them optimism, and that will give them belief. And when they believe and they see that happening, that will help you again further with your dream. So there's two commitments. One is to work relentlessly to help other people succeed. The other is to crystallize your own goals and passionately and relentlessly chase them. If you just write this down, I know a lot of you are taking notes already, but just write this down and maybe think of it later on. Your vision is your potential worth. Your vision is your potential worth. Don't sell yourself short. Don't sell your family short. Don't sell your downline short. Your vision is your potential worth. What is your vision? What are your dreams for yourself? What is your potential worth? Hopefully we're going to help you find some of that today. I'm going to come back shortly, but in the meantime, please welcome Greta.
Hi. Have a seat. Thank you. There goes a man of vision. Yeah? Pat held an open book out for me to read the other day, and he pointed out a quote by Robert F. Kennedy, and it said, "Some men see things as they are and say, why? I dream things that never were and say, why not?" And I'd like to spend a little time with you this evening talking about dreams, as Pat indicated earlier. One of the main reasons that people do not build this business is because they don't have a dream. Why don't they have a dream? Because they don't believe it will ever come true anyway. And we hope that from what you've heard from the excellent speakers this afternoon, and by the time Pat and I have finished here on the stage tonight, that you believe and understand that if you apply your mind to building this business and utilize the system we have to its fullest, then any dream no matter what it is, will come true for you. You see, this business is not like any other business out there. In this business, success is built on the success of others. In this business, we don't use people and love things. We love people and use things. And that is what makes this business so unique. If we can help enough people to achieve their dreams, then our dreams will ultimately come true. Now, I know you've all heard Pat and Jerry say many times that, in this business we cannot dream big enough. We dream of things, we achieve them, we attain them, and then we think, "God, that was the ultimate." And then, a few months later, we're dreaming again, and we achieve, and we attain, and we think, "No, this must be the ultimate." And it goes on and on and on. As long as we have dreams and keep on dreaming, this will happen for all of you. Now, it's not easy to have a dream when we first see this business. It's so much easier and so much more comfortable to go with the flow and to do what's expected of us in our lives, isn't it? Instead of daring to think bigger and not to focus on things as they are now, but as they can be in the future. Successful people have dreams and work out how to get them. They see beyond the situations and the circumstances they find themselves in now. Two men were sharing a small prison cell. There was no light except through a tiny window, 3 feet above eye level. Of course, both men spent a great deal of time looking at the window. One of them saw the bars, obvious, ugly reminders of reality. From day to day, he grew increasingly discouraged, bitter, angry, and hopeless. Now the other prisoner looked through the window to the stars beyond. Hope welled in this prisoner as he began to think of the possibility of starting a new life in freedom. The prisoners were looking at the same window, but one saw bars and the other saw stars. And the difference in their vision made a great difference in their lives. If we only have a dream, this business will offer us more than the possibility of starting a new life in freedom. Well, Pat and I didn't have any dreams when we first saw this business because our dreams had been suppressed into total oblivion because of Pat's wage packet. Plus, we were listening to the wrong people. People who were not in life where we wanted to be. People who were always quick to tell us that we couldn't and not that we could. We thought we knew successful people. But when we got in this business and started to meet our upline, we knew that Bill and Leslie and Jerry and Polly and Fred and Linda were truly successful people. And it wasn't because of the wealth that they had acquired by building this business, but because they were people who had true peace of mind. People who loved people and used things. And to me, that is more of a measure of success. You see, Pat and I, and Pat in particular, felt very uncomfortable with the word dream. You know, to us it was like a soppy word, one of those soppy things, dreams. And it was Bill O'Brien who came over in the early days to help us. And I can remember him talking about goals and dreams. In fact, at Dream Weekend this year in January, he did this. He said, I want all the men and all the ladies to write down separately 5 things, purely selfish things that they really want. He said, don't tell each other, what those 5 selfish things are. Go into separate rooms if need be and make those selfish individual lists. He said, don't consider your children or your partner, just yourself. Now that for me was tough when I first heard that many years ago. And because I was a cantankerous old thing, and I mean, I make no apologies to say because I was, and Pat will tell you that's quite right too. Well, he might. I refused to do it. In fact, I can remember I refused to do a lot of things, which was a bit silly of me because it wasted an awful lot of time. But eventually I did get round to writing the list, and I wrote down 5 pound note signs. So it was money, 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 money.